Janice Dickinson wasn't just a model. She was the supermodel, taking the fashion world by storm in the 70s and 80s. She was the first to claim the title Supermodel and was everywhere, from Vogue covers to the wild nights at Studio 54. But behind the glitz and glamour, there was a darker side to Janice's rise, one filled with rejection, battles with addiction, and painful personal struggles. She went from being the queen of the runway to a reality TV star with a reputation that stirred controversy. So how did Janice go from being the face of fashion to a living legend whose life story is nothing short of a roller coaster?
I think you mentioned in the book, that you had troubles with your father and that he mentioned many times that you weren't good enough and you'll never make it. So was that kind of like the fuel that you're like, I'm going to prove, or is that just in you naturally?
I know that it was terrible growing up.
Yeah.
With a lot of physical abuse.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And sexual abuse towards my older sister that I was aware of.
Janice Dickinson's early years were marked by immense hardship. She grew up in a toxic, abusive household where her father's cruelty shaped much of her youth. The emotional scars left by his harsh words and physical abuse left deep marks on Janice. Her father often made her feel worthless, repeatedly telling her that she would never amount to anything. It wasn't just the mental abuse. She also witnessed the suffering of her older sister, who endured sexual abuse, something that added to the weight of Janice's already difficult childhood. But rather than let these dark experiences define her, Janice found a fire within her that pushed her to escape and prove everyone wrong. She didn't let her past break her, it ignited her ambition. From a young age, she dreamed of something bigger, something beyond the confines of her chaotic home. Modeling became her ticket to freedom, a way to escape the pain and create a life of her own.
Like, I can't even imagine what the model industry was like then. But so they said you had too full of a face?
Yeah, they said my cheeks were like, I was still had baby fat.
Janice Dickinson's journey into the modeling industry wasn't a smooth one. In fact, it was the complete opposite. When she first started out, Janice faced constant rejection. Agents criticized her looks, saying she was too full in the face and didn't fit the ideal of the time. Imagine being told you're not good enough when you're just starting out. It could have crushed anyone's confidence. But Janice wasn't anyone. Instead of folding under the criticism, she took it as a challenge. Every no fueled her drive even more. She knew she had something special, even if the fashion world didn't see it yet.
I was on every cover of every magazine in the world.
I mean, you were the biggest.
Back in the late 70s and early 80s.
Yeah.
Every designer's fashion show.
Her breakthrough came when she finally found an agency that believed in her. In the 1970s and 1980s, Janice began to land major covers and walked for the most prestigious designers. She graced the pages of Vogue, Harper's Bazaar, and Cosmopolitan, quickly becoming a household name. This was when she truly became a symbol of beauty, strength, and style, a top model before the world even coined the term supermodel. At the height of her fame, Janice Dickinson was living a life most could only dream of. She traveled the world, gracing the covers of top magazines and working with some of the most legendary photographers in the fashion industry. Designers lined up to have her walk in their shows, and she became a fixture on the runways of Paris, Milan, and New York. Her looks were unique and striking, different from the blonde, blue-eyed models of the time, and that made her stand out even more in an industry that often prized conformity. She wasn't just a model, she was a force in the fashion world, redefining beauty standards and showing everyone that a little bit of edge and attitude could make a star.
Restructure your brain cells, they really do.
Yeah, and in that time where you were dabbling in drugs and alcohol, did it affect your career?
Janice Dickinson's rise to fame came with all the glamour, but it wasn't without its dark side. Drugs and alcohol became her constant companions, helping her keep up with the fast-paced world of modeling and nightlife. Back in the day, it seemed almost like a given that every celebrity at the top would party hard, and Janice wasn't an exception. Studio 54 was where she and other stars would lose themselves in a haze of drugs and alcohol, chasing that high of fame. But Janice admits it took a toll on her. It wasn't long before her personal life began to unravel. Her marriages, especially, were a reflection of her internal struggles. She was caught in unhealthy relationships, many fueled by addiction, which only made her feel more alone and trapped. It wasn't just the failed marriages that hurt her. Her struggles with body dysmorphia were a constant battle. The pressure to look perfect, to stay thin and flawless, was overwhelming. For a woman who had built her entire identity around beauty and being admired, it became a toxic cycle that she couldn't escape.
I did all these things before I got to America's Next Top Model.
Oh, I mean, you were the most established model in the world. You have done it all.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
The fall from Janice Dickinson's supermodel pedestal to reality TV star was a big shift in her career, and not without controversy. After dominating the fashion world in the 70s and 80s, Janice transitioned to a judge role on America's Next Top Model, bringing her no-nonsense attitude to the show. As a judge, she wasn't shy about giving harsh critiques. Her directness and brutal honesty, often bordering on mean-spiritedness, caused a lot of buzz. While some fans appreciated her straight-talking style, many others felt she was unnecessarily cruel. The media and public, already familiar with her bold personality, quickly pounced on her, labeling her as the tough one on the show. The criticism didn't stop there. As reality TV became more mainstream, social media took over, and with it, a wave of online backlash. Janice, once a revered icon in the fashion industry, was now under scrutiny like never before. The rise of social platforms like Twitter and Instagram gave fans a direct voice, allowing them to call out her behavior in real time. The comment sections were flooded with opinions, and Janice's image, which had once been synonymous with glamour, was now linked to a more negative, sometimes villainous persona. Janice Dickinson's personal life has been anything but easy, marked by turbulent relationships, multiple divorces, and the constant struggle to balance motherhood with the chaos that surrounded her career and lifestyle. From the beginning, her journey as a mother was complicated, with her personal demons often coming to the forefront. Raised in a broken, abusive household, she didn't have the most ideal blueprint for parenting. Despite this, Janice always felt the urge to protect her children from the same struggles she faced growing up. Her relationships were never smooth sailing. Janice was married 3 times, and each relationship seemed to reflect a deeper emotional struggle she faced. Her first marriage was to a musician who had an affair that rocked her world. Finding him in a compromising situation led to a breakup and an intense period of reflection for Janice. She often spoke about how this event changed her outlook on love and trust. It was in that moment she started making the decision to become a player herself, breaking away from the idea of fidelity and commitment. The second marriage didn't fare much better. This time, she was married to a wealthy man who, on the surface, seemed like the dream partner. But behind the scenes, addiction and emotional turmoil began to break the relationship apart. Janice revealed that her husband's behavior became erratic, even violent, which forced her to take drastic steps to protect herself. She was even locked in a closet one night, and after that experience, she knew it was time to walk away for good. Through all the heartbreak, Janice raised 2 children, Nathan and Savannah, and navigating motherhood was no less of a challenge. With her chaotic lifestyle filled with drugs, alcohol, and the pressures of being in the public eye, Janice struggled to find balance. However, she remained fiercely protective of her children, ensuring they were shielded from the worst parts of her life. She has openly admitted that her journey through addiction made it tough to be the mother she wanted to be, but she fought through it, especially after getting sober in 2010. Despite her past, Janice views her children's pursuits in the entertainment industry with mixed feelings. Nathan and Savannah have found their own paths in the world of acting and producing, but Janice has been careful not to push them into the spotlight. She admitted that her children didn't want to be in front of the camera like she once was. They preferred working behind the scenes. Savannah, however, has made her mark as an actress, and Janice couldn't be prouder of her achievements, although she's well aware of the pressures that come with being in the public eye. As a mother, she's had her own struggles with insecurity, but seeing her kids succeed has been one of the few things that have kept her grounded. Janice Dickinson's comeback story isn't just about returning to the spotlight. It's about reshaping herself in ways that defy expectations. After decades of being a household name as one of the original supermodels, Janice could have easily faded into the background, but that's never been her style. Instead, she took her experiences, the highs, the lows, and everything in between, and turned them into something powerful. One of her most notable moves was turning to writing, a way for her to finally speak her truth and share her story. In her books and podcasts, Janice lays bare everything from her rise to fame to the struggles she faced behind the scenes. She pulls back the curtain on the glamour of her modeling career and reveals the darker side, the addiction, the abusive relationships, and the emotional toll of living under the public's microscope. Her honesty is refreshing, and it's clear that writing has allowed her to process the complicated history of her life. Her story is one of perseverance, but also one of vulnerability, as she admits to her mistakes and lessons learned along the way. In many ways, writing became her way of healing and connecting with others who may have walked a similar path. But it's not just the written word that's giving Janice a second wind. At 69, she's stepping into the music world, a bold move that defies the traditional expectations of what someone her age should be doing. If there's one thing we know about Janice, it's that she's never been afraid to break the mold. She's worked in an industry that often values youth and beauty, But now, in a completely new chapter of her life, she's challenging ageism head-on. Janice has released music that's all about living life on her terms, and the world has taken notice. Her transition into pop music isn't just about jumping on a trend. It's about reclaiming control of her narrative and showing the world that reinvention has no age limit. She's proving that it's never too late to follow your dreams, no matter how unconventional they may seem. Alongside her ventures into writing and music, Janice has found a deeply personal mission in breast cancer advocacy. Having survived the disease herself, she's used her platform to raise awareness and provide support for others facing similar battles. Her journey with breast cancer wasn't easy, but it shaped her into an advocate who now actively contributes to the breast cancer community. She doesn't just speak out about it. She's involved in fundraising, supporting those in treatment, and being a voice for the silent struggles that many women face. Her experience with cancer, the emotional toll it took, and her triumphant recovery have made her a symbol of strength and resilience. Janice's openness about her health battles not only helps others feel less alone, but also serves as a reminder that survival is possible, even in the face of overwhelming odds. Janice Dickinson's life today is a testament to the fact that age is just a number, and reinvention is always possible. At 69, she's still pushing boundaries, still refusing to let anyone box her in, and still unapologetically herself. After all the ups and downs, the fame, the fall, and the comebacks, she's emerged as a figure who is not just surviving, she's thriving. And let's be clear, she doesn't plan on stopping anytime soon. If you follow her journey, you can see she's one of those rare individuals who learn to embrace every part of her story, the good, the bad, and everything in between. And through that, she's built an authenticity that not many people have in Hollywood, or anywhere else for that matter. Janice has lived a life of extremes, from being the world's first supermodel to struggling with addiction, personal heartaches, and countless rejections. But today, she's more than just the sum of her past mistakes and victories. She's a woman who has mastered the art of being unapologetically herself, and that's something she encourages others to do too. Janice has openly talked about how important it is to be resilient, to pick yourself up when life knocks you down. It's one of the biggest lessons she's shared in her career. From surviving a toxic upbringing to navigating the pitfalls of fame, she's proven time and time again that resilience is key. She's come through personal battles, including addiction and body dysmorphia, but those struggles have given her a deeper understanding of what it takes to keep going when things seem impossible. And then there's the self-love part. Janice has always been a woman of confidence, but it hasn't always been easy. For someone who spent most of her life in the harsh beauty standards of the modeling industry, embracing her imperfections was no small feat. She's gone from being criticized for everything about her, from her full face to her thick lips, to now proudly owning every inch of her body. Today, she doesn't just talk the talk, she walks the walk. She's the first to tell you that self-love isn't about fitting into someone else's idea of perfection. It's about accepting yourself, flaws and all, and using them to your advantage. Janice's journey to self-love hasn't been a straight line. It's been messy, sometimes painful, but always authentic. And that's one of the most powerful things she's shared with others, that there's no perfect way to live life. It's not about being flawless or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about embracing who you truly are, the real you, and finding strength in your vulnerabilities. Janice has become an icon not just for her beauty, but for her refusal to hide or shrink from her real story. She's found power in her past, her mistakes, and her imperfections. Her ability to turn imperfections into powerful lessons is something that many people admire about her. Take her journey with breast cancer, for example. She's been open about her battle and her survival, using her platform to raise awareness and support others. And it's not just about the disease itself, it's about how she handled it. She didn't let cancer define her. Instead, she used it to redefine what it means to be strong and to live life on her own terms. By sharing her story, she's become a voice for resilience, for courage, and for living life with purpose, no matter the circumstances. Today, Janice is still out there doing what she loves. She's dabbled in writing, music, and even her podcast, continuing to explore new ways to express herself and share her wisdom with others. She's working on music and still performing, defying expectations about what women her age should be doing. She's got a new album coming up and continues to break down barriers, proving that age doesn't limit creativity or success. Her journey has never been about slowing down or fading into the background. It's been about finding new ways to shine, to be heard, and to inspire others. So, what are your thoughts on this? Please let us know in the comments below.